Today we're going to be looking at the Sofirn C8F. Now Sofirn actually reached out to me and sent me this flashlight to do a review. This is a prototype, it's still for sale, but they're actually going to have some revisions coming out in a little bit, changing the UI. We're going to take a quick look at it. The first thing you'll notice is that it is a Convoy C8 body. And that's actually a very popular host that a lot of companies are manufacturing their flashlights into, a lot of the smaller companies. Another example is right here I have a Sofirn C8S, exact same body. Biggest difference is, as you see, the Sofirn is a triple and the Sofirn is just one LED. We're going to take a quick look at this. For $30, I think it's going to be a great flashlight, but let's see how it does. So first, let's talk about the price point itself. It's about $30 on Amazon right now. I'll leave a link in the description. Now, for that price, you actually do get a little more than just the flashlight. You get a 2800 milliamp 18650, and you also get a very, very basic 18650 charger. Now, I've been speaking with Sofirn, and it turns out they claim that they actually do manufacture these batteries themselves in-house, which is pretty interesting considering that there's not too many battery manufacturers out there that are well known. This one's a 2800 milliamp battery, but it's actually a little bit longer, and I'm going to go ahead and take a strong guess that it's a protected cell, just because it seems to have that sort of protected cell style. The charger is as boring as a charger could get. There is no buttons, no function. It just seems like a half amp charger that just plugs into a USB port and charges your battery. Excellent for people getting started, but definitely if you're going to get into it and you have a couple flashlights, upgrade the charger immediately. Also included in the box is obviously the flashlight. You get a couple O-rings and I think you get a lanyard, but the main important things are the three objects here. The actual bezel of this light is about 44 millimeters. Tail cap finishes off at about 27 millimeters. And as expected, the 18650, where the 6.5 stands for 65 millimeters long, is 68 millimeters long, leading me to believe that there is a protection circuit in this battery, indicating why it's so ridiculously small. Now, if you guys hear us screaming at your screen because I'm using metal calipers on the leads of an 18650, don't worry, I'm putting it on the plastic. Don't try that at home. Very stupid idea. Now, a couple excellent things I love about this light. One is that it is sprung on both sides. That means there are two springs securing this battery, meaning any 18650 that will fit inside this light will work. You don't have to worry about getting a button top battery. Now, after you screw in the light, we'll go ahead and take a quick look in the user interface. So now the actual user interface for this light is actually a bit interesting, as it does separate apart from the competition. First of all, one click on, one click off. That's pretty basic among all these lights. But it actually has two subsets of groupings of modes. So how you actually change the subset is you just half click 3 times once the light is on, 1, 2, 3, and you'll notice the light will blink twice, and then you go into the second mode. So let's just go ahead and start with that second mode. First you have moonlight, which is something new that was not on their lights before. Very happy they actually made this change. You actually get a 1 limit moonlight, which is just dark enough to see at night, but not too bright to blind yourself. It's great. A lot of lights don't have it. You'll be alarmed how many lights wouldn't have it, as it's a super easy feature to add, and just a lot of companies don't. Next half click, you get like a low, a medium, and a high. The high is 1900 lumens on this light, which is expected as of triples, and quad LED lights tend to have very high lumen numbers, but in general, they are very similar output to lights of single LEDs that are run hotter. This one has a very, very bright light, and I'll show you that at night in just a second. Now, another thing I hate is that included in the mode cycle is SOS, which is such a weird SOS. If you actually see the pace that they're doing it, it's almost not Morse code at this point. It's a very strange SOS pace, and it's so useless. I really wish just manufacturers would stop including SOS. I don't know anyone that's ever actually used the SOS feature on their lights. Now, speaking of useless features, if you double click, you have strobe, another really common feature that's included on a lot of flashlights. It's pretty damn useless, as no one will ever use strobe, especially for a light like this. It's at such a weird PWM rate, as you actually see here. It's a very strange, slow strobe, and it almost seems like it's changing speeds, but I think it's just an illusion. The only thing I don't like about this strobe is that it's so easy to accidentally access, considering that the only way to change modes on this light is to half click. So it's pretty easy to half click twice and accidental disco yourself, especially if you're trying to get into the moonlight mode. The next thing I noticed is from high, when you half click into the what you would assume to be moonlight mode, as you'll see right now, it has a huge pause before it actually starts doing the SOS thing. So I've accidentally blinded myself a couple times thinking I was going into the moonlight mode. It's just something that I wish was spaced out a little bit better. Now let's cover the second mode group, which is in my opinion a little bit better. You do lose your moonlight mode, so I'm going to go ahead and half click 3 times while it's on. Fuck. So now I'm going to go ahead and half click 3 times while it's on. There we go. And in this mode is more of a practical mode. They get rid of the moonlight, they also get rid of the strobe. You just have a low, a medium, and a high. Super easy. I do leave this light in a mode like this for a lot because it's so easy to jump to the modes. Only 3 modes, excellent. Now, of course, as a standard of most flashlights nowadays, this light does have mode memorization. Last mode it's turned on in, when you click it again, it'll turn off, and when you click it on again, be on in that exact same mode. Thing is about these lights, since they're half clicks to change modes, if you do try to do that too quickly, it will just cycle through the modes. Which is annoying, but I mean, you gotta live with it when you only have one hard clicking switch as your only user interface option. Now in a little bit we'll talk about the beam pattern, but before it gets too dark, I'll go ahead and just say right now that the beam pattern on this light does not at all look like a triple. It's great. It's actually a very, very throwy sort of concentrated beam for a light that has 3 LEDs, and I'm pretty impressed that they were able to do that. At night you'll see this light has an insane amount of light, and I have no doubt that it actually does achieve those 1900 lumens that they boast about. Excellent overall. I'm going to test it with the battery they include and not one of my higher discharge batteries, so we keep all the tests fair. I think this light will actually draw more than its protection circuit can handle, so you do want to be a bit careful using this light, but overall I think it's going to be a great light, and we'll just see when it gets dark. Powerful. Lighting up your backyard as daylight. All jokes aside and all the Chinglish aside, let's go ahead and see how this lighting performs at night. We're just going to do a couple quick little tests here and just see how it does in general, and just standard everyday use sort of situations. Now right here we see it in the backyard. As you can see, it's a good amount of light. This is the low mode here. It's doing an incredibly good job. Even amount of light. In person, of course, is going to be a lot brighter, but you could still see the total effect of these 1900 lumens. They're definitely working very well. And as you see, it just doesn't even hide any of the spots in this backyard. Every little corner and nook is illuminated perfectly. Now let's go ahead and move on to the street. Now out in the street here, you see it's another similar sort of beam. It's a little bit further away, but it's still doing an excellent job at lighting it up. Compared to some of my other lights, this is the similar performance you'll expect of like 1000+ lumen lights. Nothing too surprising here. As you can see behind the trash cans, it does pretty well with colors, especially on the other side across the street. I'm trying to avoid my neighbor's house right there. Now just sort of lighting it up in this field here. As you can see, until you go to the bright one, you can't really see the field too far away. That's a good about 200 yards to under that tree in the back there, and it's lighting it up pretty well. So that's pretty much it for the Sofirn C8F. Overall, it's an incredible light, especially for $28 that you get a battery and a charger. You really can't beat that in a light like this. Because it's a triple, it's definitely unique, and it has an incredibly nice beam pattern. As you saw in those videos out there, it's extremely useful as a just general purpose sort of light. Big fan of this, and big thank you to Sofirn for actually sending this out to me. It's great to do the reviews on stuff like this, especially when I don't have to pay for all the lights. Either way, it's a great light, and I do recommend it to anybody interested in something sort of like this. Well, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Just leave a comment if you have any questions or comments, or you want anything clarified, or have any corrections that I may have made. Just let me know in the comment, and I'll be sure to leave a link in the description for this light itself. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.